And boom! We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, Zach. That's your move? Elias. What's up, Zach?
It's devastating. Your father just whooped you, which is why didn't you just walk away? You just sat there and took it.
You think you talk a lot? You have no idea what my father is like.
Yeah, but you could have just sat there and just, could have stood up and walked elsewhere. You could have gone up on a Domino's game down the block.
A clear callback from last week's episode. This is episode 77. We're going to be talking today about getting in trouble and some other funny things along the way. For anybody that's watching this live every Tuesday, 8:30 on Facebook and YouTube. We also put the episodes out, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Do the thing, do the downloads, rate, review, subscribe. Before we get into the story, Zach, what are you drinking?
Are we both in the Bloods? Are we doing a thing? It's gang related.
Easy, buddy. Easy, buddy. You're going to get in trouble before this episode even starts.
Yeah, the Crips are big fans of this. We've lost half our audience. The Latin Kings love us too. What am I drinking? I am drinking one of my favorite bad beers, but I love it. It's just pure sugar. Rolling Rock, baby. They never have these at stores, and I saw a sixer. Had to go with it. Love Rolling Rock.
Big fan, Zach. I don't know if I've ever told you, but
and you can have like 40 of them.
Love the Rolling Rock. And I always say to people, the reason you'll get like oohs and ahs is because it's cheap, not because it's bad.
Not bad. It's not bad. It's cheap. It tastes good. It gets you there. Not really quenching at all. It takes so many to get you, happy.
Ron Katz's a big RR. Apparently, that's the abbreviation.
It's like railroad. What do you got?
I got something from Beacon Skiff Apple Orchards. It is called 1911 established Raspberry Premium Small Batch Hard Snyder. So there you go.
That sounds awful. Everything about that sounds like She-Wolf from Beer Fest.
I can't reveal who I got this from, but I always have a hard rule with any good friends. If
Did you tap your foot under the stall in the bathroom?
It was a she. If anybody ever needs a physical therapy visit, I am always willing to see you once as a friendly favor for exchange of beer. So this was kind of beer donated by a friend of ours, I'll tell you off air, who needed PT for one visit, and these hands made her better.
So you can massage my feet for a 3-pack of Rolling Rock?
A holiday 6-pack is what that's called.
I assume I'm having the other 3. All right, go on.
There you go. That's it. Release the Kraken.
I didn't even need my bottle opener. It's a twist. I love it. Everything's good here.
Cheers, L'chaim.
Oh, that'll get you there. How is that? That delivers everything it promises on the label.
5.5% alcohol, but by volume, so we'll see.
So is a Zima, which is pretty much what's in that.
Yeah, it kind of does taste the same, but it's New York. I miss New York. How
is New Jersey out there? How's it going?
I mean,
it's all Italiano.
I'm at the gym yesterday, and I see the
situation.
Yes, I did. The MTV Movie Awards apparently was last night, and I saw an advertisement for the Jersey Shore. Man, have they gotten old. Holy moly. But I don't plan on watching it now that I'm here in Jersey. I really couldn't care less.
Because there, they just call it the Shore. It's like Chinese food in China. It's just food.
Zach, what a segue into Chinese food in China, because today's topic we were going to get into is getting into trouble. Because
and why am I purple from Marlene Simon Schnitzer? Don't worry about it.
Essentially,
Violet, you're turning violet.
Back in the day, you could just get in trouble for doing something, for saying something. Nowadays, you get canceled. That's kind of how everything works. And you have to make your own way, and then you can't really get canceled. But Zach, I woke up last week really, really sad, and I told Julie about it, and it's really not worth getting too much into, but most people don't know I have this really crazy, crazy obsession with this.
Like Marky Mark and Fear?
I think I maybe told you once, there's a YouTube show that I watch regularly. It's called Kill Tony. Have you heard of the show? Have you heard of Tony Hinchcliffe?
No and no. Kill Tony sounds like the motto of your town in Jersey.
It's good.
Mrs. Manicotti.
So this show, long story short...
Too late. From Clue. Great line from Clue. Long story short, too late.
They bring people up to do 1 minute of comedy, and then Tony Hinchcliffe and usually a celebrity, whatever, they just roast the people. That's the shtick. Anyways, Tony Hinchcliffe in a little bit of trouble these days.
Go on.
Famous comedian, basically, he kind of got set up by a fellow Asian American, probably not even Asian American, a guy who's just straight Chinese, who recorded both of their sets. And next, Tony comes out and just roasts the audience for laughing at this Asian man's comedy. And he started off with a hard C, and it went all downhill from there.
Hard C, like the C word?
Like a chin with a K at the end.
Oh, that hard C.
Yeah. He called the guy that, and then he roasted the audience, and I was super upset because the show is banked, so they're a couple of weeks behind. But Tony Hinchcliffe has been released from his IMG, wherever his agent is, and I don't know the end result of this, but he hasn't been seen or heard from as far as any of this.
Yeah, the Yakuza got him.
So from there, I guess it just kind of reminds me of getting in trouble, and I was trying to think, what's the worst trouble you've ever gotten into?
See, you didn't qualify trouble. I didn't know if it was, canceled, or you in danger, girl, or, your mom's mad at you, or I fought the law and the law won, which is most trouble. What's the most trouble I've ever been in? Well, are you advertising that horrible cider thing? The most nervous I've ever been from getting in trouble was when I was gotta be 14, 15, whatever it was. Family, my mom and another family, like friends of mine, we take a trip to Philadelphia. So, just had, we did this every couple of years. So Ron Katz, how do I know about the Yakuza? Don't worry about it. You're missing a finger, you're in the Yakuza. So anyway, we go to Philly, and because we're punk 15-year-olds, we thought it'd be fun to steal like street signs and hotel signs, and you could like hang them on your wall. So my wall decor in high school was street signs because that was cool. Anyway, so we steal a bunch, and we were pretty good at it. We took like the no smoking sign from the hotel and a men's room sign and this and that. We had them in the hotel room. I guess the maid ratted us out because we get back from a day on the town.
Well, the fuzz was there?
Yeah. So our door is double locked and locked from the outside, or so they say, or inside, whatever it was. They go, we're going to call the handyman. We get up there. There's a cop staying in the hotel, and then like another cop shows up, and he is just roasting us with the hotel signs. Then he comes in, he opens the door, looks down, and there's like 3 street signs. He goes, oh, these are from the street. Calls our parents. It is there now. We're all in the room together. It is brutal. We got like a juvenile delinquent card, like an official card from the state of Pennsylvania. Wow. But I have never been more scared in my life.
Okay. I mean, taking the evidence.
Yeah, they took the evidence. There are others with the law. Are we doing you go, I go, or am I just rattling them off? First week at school, because I don't know what a good fake ID and a bad fake ID look like. I have the worst fake ID ever that barely worked in the city, but certainly wasn't going to work. So I went to go buy alcohol at UMass because I thought I was, hot shit and cock strong, and I'm a freshman with a great ID.
Tits up.
Tits up is really, it did go tits up. Behind the counter, standing next to the guy who's selling the alcohol, was clearly an undercover cop. It wasn't even trying, but I didn't know. This was every central casting. So he looks at this thing, looks at me, dead for rights. Pretty much goes, don't run. There's another cop there with a gun. I go, dude, I'm not going to run. That's what he told me. So then I got 2 choices. I plead not guilty, which was a bad idea.
You had to go to court?
In Northampton, yeah. So my 2 choices. I go to court and I plead guilty, and then I have to do UMass AA, which like I ended up having to listen to like alcoholism and then write a paper about it. Or I go there, I plead not guilty, and I try and see what happens. So of course I pled guilty, and it was terrifying.
You didn't take the physical challenge? That feels like something you'd say.
I was also the only one in court in Northampton, Massachusetts, in a suit, because I figured, that's Jewish boy, you wear a suit. You go to court, you dress up. And, that way they won't tell me from the lawyer. Everybody else there was in like overalls and no pants. Nothing. It was a disaster. So no, that was what I thought of when I thought of trouble. But I ended up going to UMass AA, and it wasn't so bad. It wasn't great, but
I have a great AA story I'll save for another week.
What's your definition of trouble? Getting like whooped up on by your mom, or
do I look like the type of person that could ever get in serious trouble? Like, my mouth will get me to trouble with people, but like really trouble with the law? No chance. So
my legal issues are worse than your legal issues. I play dominoes with the boys.
The Ninos, if you will. For me, I've gotten 3 tickets in my life where not in chronological order, but one of them I was on a road trip and I was with my buddy and we were driving through Wyoming, hadn't seen a car in 2 hours. I think I was going 102, 103 type. Cop pulls me over. He was like, I'm going to write this ticket for 80. And I was like, okay. I paid the ticket, no problem. Another time I ran not
80 to
one.
102? I got like 400 for going 80 in upstate New York.
No. The ticket was more than that, but it was 80 was he wrote the miles per hour down.
$80. Jesus, where is that? I'm going to fly through that area.
Another time I ran not one, not two, not three, but 4 stop signs. The cop just followed me after that. I was on campus and I was running late for something, so I just kept going. And he pulls me over. And he was hysterical. He just looks at me. He's like, "Do you know how many stop signs you ran?" I'm like, "None." He was like, "Nope, that's not it." So I had a ticket for that, which was, I paid for that, no big problem. But the other one was I was going, oh God, it must have been 22, 23 miles per hour over on the highway, which, the traffic was going to 85 or whatever. From that, the cop, I moved to the left lane. He follows me. And then I was like, maybe he's not trying to pull me over. So I moved to the center lane. He follows me back to the center and is like, pull over, pull out. So now I'm like, okay. And I thought I could maybe play like I didn't know I was doing that type of deal. Pulls me over. I get a ticket. It had 2 points with it. So I go to court with that. Zach, I'm the only person there, relatively dressed nice. Forget about a suit.
Were you in a suit?
Of course, I was in a shirt and tie. My father came with me. He's like, "You make sure to tell the person this and tell them that."
You're wearing a Maryland flag tie.
I didn't have one. I wish I did. But this court was ridiculous in PG County, which is not the nicest of neighborhoods. And I'm there. People are coming in with suspended licenses, and it's like, PBJ, probation before judgment. For people who don't know, I stole a car, but I returned it to the same place later. PBJ. I get up there, and for going 22 miles over, they threw the book at me. This lady looked at me like, "Oh, a privileged white Jewish boy. I am going to give you 1 hour of community service for every mile over you were." So I had to do 22 hours.
Just do jail. It's easier.
It was during the summer, which I didn't have a lot going on. So I had to go to the Howard County Courthouse for the week and do 4 or 5 hours. I forgot how much it was. And I had to clean that courthouse. And they put us all in this big group. And I'm there with, we're sitting around starting to get each other notes. And this person's like, "Oh, I was driving with suspended license." This other guy's like, "I was drunk driving." This one girl who could have been the cash me outside girl. And she basically was like, "Oh, I tried to stab my mom at a dinner restaurant. And I got in trouble for that." And they're like, "What about you?"
Was she cute?
No, she had 3.5 teeth. It was not good. They turned to me.
Use that half tooth.
You just take it out. You sacrifice the last tooth and do the stabbing. So they look at me and I'm like, I was speeding, and the looks on their face are like, "Seriously, that you're speeding and you have to." So we're there. I had to clean that courthouse.
Privileged J boy.
Oh my God, I had to clean that courthouse. Courthouse. I had to clean the courthouse top to bottom for the week, and I was so afraid that they wouldn't count my hours. And finally, the custodian looks at me. He's like, "Dude, just go sit down. Like, you've done enough." They basically it's a time suck. They don't care what you do. I wanted that place to shine like the Chrysler Building. And
I wouldn't have given a fuck. I would have been so mad at that punishment. I
didn't want to have to come back and do it again.
I would have been seething, just like I was seething about UMass AA. Can't I just pay the fine? What's the number that makes this go away? Which is pretty much what they don't want to hear because, privileged Jew boy. But
yeah, it was just one of those things where that was probably the most trouble I've ever really been in. But just this whole, of course, everything we say, I hope everybody knows it's always a joke. I mean, we make all types of inappropriate things. But you would think that with what Tony did and what Tony said, and again, I'll wait and see. And if the set's worth watching because he actually was kind of funny. But the fact that he used the C word, I was curious to push this further. Other than the N word and the C word, is there any other word that you'd be like, "Oh, you just don't say that"? You don't have to say. I mean,
any other word? I mean, any version of the N word for a specific group is not needed. Hard K for us isn't needed.
But people haven't been canceled for the hard K.
Because no one uses it. It's too old school. When do you hear that used? Who's going to use it? All the comedians are Jewish.
Did you see?
Who's going to use it and have it be?
A CNN reporter was fired today for not his first, not his second, but his third anti-Semitic tweet in 7 years. I'm going to read them to you real quick. It took 7 years to get this.
That's first one, Steve Howe last chance, Major League Baseball.
July 12th, 2014. "The only reason I am supporting Germany in the finals is Hitler was a German and he did a good with those Jews."
Good?
He did good with those Jews. Second one,
Oriana's right. A basketball player did get in trouble for using a hard K. We discussed that a few weeks ago. Where were you?
Day after that, Hail Hitler, even though it's Heil Hitler.
He wrote Hail?
And then
like Hail to the victors?
Yeah, that's Go Blue. How do you know that?
How do I know that? Everyone knows that.
They don't.
They do.
3 days ago, the one that got him is "The world today needs a Hitler," and CNN finally fired this guy.
Who was the guy? Call him out.
I can't read his name. It's not good. It's Adil Raja. He's verified on Twitter, has a little check mark, but he's but I'm with Samantha. How is he not canceled after the first tweet?
I don't know.
Did you have any other stories you wanted to tell?
Getting in trouble? I mean, we got busted my sophomore year of college for stealing a dorm couch. Now, we got it out of the dorm tower, halfway up the road to our fraternity house. So we did the hardest of hard parts. The Mission Impossible part we got. And then as we're walking it up the road, we didn't realize it was a huge sign on the back of it that had the name of the dorm we jacked it from. Woo! The cops come up behind us. And of course, the other guy just starts diarrhea of the mouth. Well, we found it in the bushes, and the cop is just not having it. He's like, just give me your IDs and return this thing. I'm thinking to myself, are you going to shoot me? Because that would just be better than listening to this guy go.
Terrible.
Yeah, they weren't thrilled with us, but that wasn't so bad. That wasn't the worst one. Was the most scared I've ever been was the one in Philadelphia because we were dead for rights. We had street signs, we had hotel signs. Public property, private property. We stole it all.
It would have been better if the cop was waiting in your room and just sat back and was like, "Y'all boys want to explain this?"
Oh, like the chair turns and then
he's stroking the cat.
The cat, yeah, like a Bond villain.
So
get over yourself.
I just want to then help you out because the next thing that I heard, which is starting to become PC culture, hold on to your britches for this one. Homeless. You are no longer allowed to say homeless. The correct term is
living challenged.
The unhomed. They're not dead, but that'll be a thing too. Eventually, the dead people.
Unhomed?
The unhomed, because there are people who choose to be homeless. So if you assume a person, some people do. Some people,
nomad land. They're not just bouncing around from cardboard box to cardboard box.
There are some people that are doing that, though. I'm just telling you. I heard this the other day
on the show. Go find one. Get him on guest host. What was it called? Home challenge? I forgot already what it was called.
The unhomed.
Unhomed.
I heard this the other day.
I
was like, "You've got to be kidding me!"
Unhomed. That's ridiculous. So you can't say homeless because they're without home,
dude.
But if someone doesn't have arms, you can call them armless, can't you?
No, they're without arms, without upper extremities. Unarmed. They're unarmed.
Unarmed. Great. So the suffix "less" is no good anymore.
Dude,
I heard
this. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like, come on.
This is PCU and then some. This is nuts.
Yeah, it's getting pretty rough. But the whole thing with having rules and the way people work.
Who has that much time to care, and who has that much energy to be the warriors for this?
Keyboard warriors. You answered your own question.
Trolls.
That's what they're called. Trolls. Absolutely. It's just got to the point. You're like, what?
Midwest Mary over there just can't hack it.
Midwest Mario. I thought you said. I'm like, there's no Marios in the Midwest.
A couple. They're all in your neighborhood.
So, it makes me think of rules and everything that we've been doing. So I've been doing, kickboxing here in New Jersey, and the place I've been going to, the dressing rooms are still closed. So locker rooms. So they want you to show up essentially.
So where is it? Vinny's Hard Body Karate?
They want you to show up with your gi already on, and I can't do it. Like, I've been the only person changing in a tiny bathroom because
it's so embarrassing to walk down the street in a gi. You're like a maniac.
Zach, the only thing going through my head is,
if you're older than 8, you can't do that.
Can you imagine getting into a car accident? God forbid a bad car accident, and you're laying there and your belt is down, and I've been picturing getting into I know this is morbid.
Or the EMT. It's okay. He's a yellow belt. It's fine.
I mean, you see something like that. That's the only thing going through my head is I don't know why I picture Fat Elvis when he had his belt and just driving down the street and getting into a car. Can you imagine if you're an EMT and you see some asshole in a car accident with the airbag deployed?
It makes your day. It makes your day because you've seen such horrible stuff, and at least this one gives you a laugh. Yeah, he's mangled, but he's in a red belt, so he's fine.
So as far as bad things. I saw some good news for any single people not listening to this. Your girl, Minka Kelly, single.
She's my girl. Good for her.
I mean, she's not an ugly girl. Her and Trevor Noah have officially called it quits.
I didn't know they were calling it on. I had no idea he was stripping her, but good for him.
No clue. It was just something that I saw that crossed my mind. I was like, oh, Minka. I mean, I immediately think of Derek Jeter. I can't tell you anything else about Minka Kelly other than Derek Jeter.
Everybody's on back of Derek Jeter's baseball card. He's had them all.
I know.
Everyone's got his sloppy seconds. This guy's did well for himself. Wife's good looking too.
Before we move on to trivia, I was trying to think of a new segment for us, something that would be fun. I wanted to call it the Pisha Do of the Week, but that doesn't really make so much sense because it means toilet of the week, which doesn't. I was thinking more like the asshole of the week. So being that we kind of are Jews and we can just go with as much, we're going to call this the Schmuck of the Week. I'm going to let you.
I like it.
Schmuck of the Week. So. Okay. We'll start with a tweet I saw earlier today. The new head coach of the Lions, Dan Campbell.
He's not the schmuck of the week. He's brilliant.
You saw this.
Of course.
He wants to have an
This is my wheelhouse. This is my milieu.
So he wants to have an actual lion on the premises for the Lions practices or the games. I didn't read the article.
Okay. Fire him up for the practices.
What could go wrong?
Nothing. It'd be perfect. This can be on a rope. He's got a guy.
Oh my God.
He's a lion guy.
All right, so you're immediately going with number 2, no matter what I say.
Yes, I think the live lion will fire them up. I like any kind of nonsensical animal, like the bisons you see in college football, or that dog at Georgia that bites people. I'm into it. I'm in. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go like 9.
I think they're on more than that, but yeah. I've been down to a game there. The other one I wanted to talk about last week because this made a lot of news.
Well, who's the other piece you do? I get
you get to pick. It's somebody who's named Edward who went to Starbucks, and I'm going to read the order. I don't know if you saw this. Edward got a venti caramel crunch frappuccino.
He wins.
5 banana, extra caramel drizzle, extra whip, extra ice, extra cinnamon doll top. 7 pumps.
What's a doll top?
Don't know. 7 pumps, add dark caramel sauce, extra caramel crunch, 1 pump honey blend, extra salted BM butter, not going, 5 pumps frap roasted coffee, 7 add frap chips, heavy cream, double blended, and I think it was like $12. It wasn't even that expensive.
That's not bad. The way you say pumps with the number in front of it is very dirty.
Pumps.
7 pumps. It's the way you. Yeah, he's a much bigger piece of dude than the guy who wants them help his team win by firing them up with a lion.
So
cool.
Schmuck of the week.
Schmuck of the week is the Starbucks asshole. As Larry David would say, give me some vanilla bullshit. I don't care. A vanilla bullshit. That's what he goes into Starbucks with.
Nice. Yeah. All right. It was just 2 little things that maybe we'll start throwing that in there just because I'm just sitting at home scouring the internet these days.
Nice.
The other night,
where you land on, or after you finally, chafe.
Last Friday, I finally got.
Hold on, you got to be on a 4 time a day habit at this point.
Zach, I have things to do. Okay,
there's a lot. You don't.
There's a lot of YouTube to watch.
YouTube or RedTube.
We finally got around to binging The Mighty Ducks. There's a TV series. They have 8 episodes. This is one of those that I can't recommend to people unless you are rock hard for The Mighty Ducks, the original movie. It's not good. It's literally the same premise as pretty much the first movie, and they kind of take some liberties. There's a lot of inaccuracies, but Zach, it was one of my favorite movies growing up. So I'm just sitting here like,
it's a fantastic movie. I constantly say, I wish they would just take that one down. If I see something like I don't like, or Coach Riley's great.
So, yes, Amanda finished Red Oaks. It was great.
Fantastic.
So we binged Mighty Ducks. There's 8 episodes out as of right now. There's 2 more coming. It's worth watching, but it just got me thinking because everything I know that movie inside and out. I don't know how well you're going to do on this, but I'm going to be testing your knowledge today on the first Mighty Ducks movie.
Okay. Let's go.
All right. Believe it or not, these go easy to hard. I got them from multiple sites.
Is Pascack Hills one of the answers? Because that's where, what's his name? The goalie went to high school with Jenna. Goldberg, the goalie. 1 year ahead of her. Now he's a train wreck. Go on.
Question the first, and it's a 2-parter. Why doesn't Fulton Reed play hockey?
Why doesn't he play
They wanted him to play hockey. They saw him, slap-shotting.
Right.
And he said, I'm not playing hockey. Why?
Oh.
They had to convince him.
It's been a while since I can't afford the skates. Can't afford to play. He's a poor kid.
Correct answer is Because he can't skate.
Oh. Okay.
So, second parter, which I was going to give you an extra point, was where do they teach him how to skate? Best scene in the movie.
Where do they teach him how to skate? Don't they teach him at the roller skating place? No, Ice Pond. I haven't seen it in years.
They take him to the mall. There's that scene where they're skating throughout the
Mall
mall.
of America. Yeah. No, they rollerblade to the mall.
Okay, same difference.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
Point is, that was my dream. That scene, I was like, oh my God, I wish I could.
Just rollerblading through a mall? That's your dream?
It's very high on my list. Like, I hit the lottery tomorrow.
So you aspire to different things than like Einstein or Magellan or...
Do you know when I was in 7th grade, we had to do a book report on our dream job, and I swear to God, I wrote an A paper about why I want to work at McDonald's when I grow up. Not own a McDonald's, work at a McDonald's.
I'm all ears. Go on.
It just always reminded me of happiness. I love the food, and it was always happy going there. At the end, that's it.
That was it? That's an A paper, 3 lines. It reminds me of happiness with a side of fries. You fat ass. Go on. Question the second.
I'm
going to do terrible at this. I like the movie, but
I thought this was going to be super easy for you.
I haven't seen it in years.
How much does Gordon Bombay miss the shot by in the finals when he was a kid? It was the line. He goes,
inch and a half.
Quarter of an inch. Because the whole thing was a quarter of an inch to the right, and it goes in, and he goes, and then Charlie goes quarter of an inch to the left, and you miss the net altogether.
Yeah.
Which probably doesn't add up. Wow, you are not doing well.
I'm going for the full Allison.
Question number 3. Coach Riley of the Hawks had a famous saying that he used to rile up his team. I'll start it, you finish it.
It's not worth winning if you can't win big. That one I got.
It's not worth winning if you can't win big. Very good. That is one of those lines that's an original Mighty Ducks. That is fantastic. Yeah. That's a great line. It's right up there with Lombardi as far as I'm concerned. Question number 4.
Is he better in that or in My Cousin Vinny?
Name a third movie he's been in.
He's been in stuff. I don't know. Go on.
Question number 4. Actor Sean Weiss, famous for his role as Goldberg, has had a bad life, but he is currently 1 year sober as of January. What was he addicted to?
Meth.
He was addicted to meth.
That one was easy. You open with that one.
And for a bonus point, I had this written down.
Where did he go to high school?
What's his first name? Because
that I know too.
What's his first name?
I
swear to God, I thought that he didn't have a first name. It was just Goldberg.
Oh, in the movie.
In the movie. I just told you his first name was Sean.
I know his name. I know the actor's name because I followed his whole career because my wife went to high school with him. I don't know. Shlomo. No, it's probably Eric.
Greg.
Cool. Why does he need a first name and why is it Greg?
I had to look it up. I actually had no idea. And number 5, somehow this is the hardest question. What was Charlie Conway's nickname that they all called him? More at the beginning of the first movie. No, that was Banks. Oh, you're killing me.
God, what was Charlie's nickname then?
Spazway.
Spazway?
You don't remember that? No? All right. You know what? You got 2 out of 5. You didn't go full-blown Allison.
Yeah, because I knew the guy was addicted to meth.
The other thing I wanted to ask you before we signed off was, you don't remember at the beginning of that movie when they give the dog chili and then they take the shit and then they go. Do you know anybody that's ever done anything with dog poop, like a prank like that?
No.
It's a movie thing, right? Like nobody does that.
Nobody does that. Nobody does the Billy Madison. Nobody does anything with scatological. I mean, it's gross. The whole thing is gross. Do you know anyone who's doing that? Your friends?
No, I have no idea.
Play?
No, man. It was just one of those things that I just assume is only in movies. You're like, nobody actually
I assumed it was a suburban thing.
I was busy playing dominoes, apparently.
That's not suburban. That's full-on urban.
Now, let's just finish this episode up with the best thing I've seen in a long time, because I'm a hard laugh. I cry laugh once a year. You did it to me last year when we were at that barbecue. Today, I had another one in a room by myself. Okay. Zach, the clip is 2 years old, but if anybody hasn't seen this, can you describe what the clip I sent you today? Because I'm sitting in a room and I was crying. I was laughing so hard watching it.
It's a woman who's being rescued.
74-year-old woman.
74-year-old woman, like in the desert.
Yeah,
what was she doing out there?
She went hiking and got injured and had to be lifted out of wherever she was. The clip is about 2 years
Airlifted.
old. Go ahead.
So they put her into the on the board.
Sled, yeah.
Yeah, the sled. They secure her in. She's wrapped up good. And the helicopter starts taking her up. And the whirlybird, the wind of it, starts making her spin. And as she gets closer to the helicopter, she starts spinning faster and faster. And at a certain point, she's going almost the speed of the helicopter thing. It honestly is hysterical. They had to lower her back down
multiple times.
It was
not exaggerating. She was going no less than 45 miles per revolution.
Easy.
I mean, it was.
She was.
They asked her. She survived. She was okay. She was interviewed after. She goes, "I thought I was going to die." This clip is one of those things that I don't know.
Essentially, a freak show version of like that rotor ride where they spin you and you stick to the wall.
Oh my god!
I don't like any spinny rides.
I saw this today, dude. I'm in my bed watching this, and I was crying.
How did that come across your phone? Like,
how deep
of a rabbit hole are you going down?
No. I was watching Tom Segura's Your Mom's House is the name of a show. He had Jeselnik on a couple years ago, and he's showing Jeselnik just some clips. It's kind of like the Tosh.0 where they show people clips of stuff as part of the show. And he's like, "Hey, did you see this?" And he goes, "Yeah, I already saw that." And they go, "Let's just watch it again." I was dead. I mean, there's other stuff I could tell you off air, but I sent that to 2 people. Crickets today. Crickets.
Okay. Oh, I was busy at work. But I just watched it.
I was busy at work.
Yeah. At what point do all the listeners, Julia, the whole bit, just you come home one day and we're all in the living room with an intervention banner?
For what?
For what? For watching nonsense all day long on YouTube.
I am currently still getting my New Jersey license.
To do what?
To be I'm a doctor.
Sure.
If you say so.
If you say so, yeah. It takes a lot to be a doctor in Jersey. You're a mafia doctor?
That being said, you could have had an intervention last week. I'm literally watching YouTube all day, every day.
We're not quite there yet, but we're getting close to the intervention.
It's gotten bad, but I am making progress with things. I appreciate everybody who's worried about me.
No, we're not worried. We just want to have the fun of the intervention. The intervention is going to end up being a party. You may not be invited, but we'll be blasted by the time you show up.
It's going to be like that super. Have you seen that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other? Like that would be our intervention.
No,
like,
I'm picturing How I Met Your Mother with the banner.
Julia is
absolutely. I'm not going to intervene until it's a pool.
Yeah, the pool opens in 2 weeks, and I will be at the pool most days. I'm going to be tan with a chain and everything.
The Adam Sandler, Chris Farley thing with the glasses. Yeah, exactly.
That's good.
And also, pray for Kevin Pillar, nice Jewish boy. They broke his perfect schnoz. He looks all messed up. What?
Have you seen him yet? Does he have a black and blue?
Yeah, he's got 2 black eyes and a broken hook.
Good for him.
He's like a 16-year-old. I've got deviated septum. I need a nose job. He's going to come back with this like ski jump waspy nose. No good. Nishkit.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast, live Tuesdays. Download the episodes.
Any show that ends with Nishkit.
You can say it again if you want.
Nah, I'm done. It's been said twice.
Download them on Saturday. Rate, review, subscribe. Tell a friend. We're going to keep doing this. We're giving out Schmuck of the Week. If you have any nominations, Daddy loves you.
Mwah, love you too.
Nishkit.
Nishkit, yeah.